Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much, Coach Elliott, for being here with us today. I am honored that you accepted the call to action. So as I put this call out for coaches across the state to join us to celebrate their stories, celebrate their journey in recognizing what it is that they've had to accomplish, what they've had to overcome during their coaching profession, whether they're just starting in the profession or whether they are seasoned professionals. So welcome, Coach Elliott. Please tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much. My name is Carrington Elliott. I'm from Houston, Texas. I graduated high school 2020, so I was a COVID baby for sure. I started my first year at Texas State University in 2020. I graduated this past December 2022. And coaching wise, I started coaching my 9th grade year of high school. I broke my ankle in 3 places my middle school year. So my mom was like, yeah, you're not playing football, basketball, anything if you're living in my house. So I was like, okay, well, that's fine with me. So I'm just going to start coaching, This is just as much as playing. So started coaching my old Little League football team. Then I started coaching my sister's AAU basketball team. Got out, moved to Texas State, and I had the opportunity to volunteer coach at San Marcos Academy, which I am now employed at. And my second year at Texas State, I was a student coach for the Texas State football team until I graduated. So coaching has been about 4, 5, 6, 7 years of my 21 years on this earth. So it's taken up almost a third of my life. So I really enjoy coaching. I actually have my teaching degree. I'm certified in physical education, special education, history, and then core curriculum 4 through 8. So I'm an avid believer in education, and then us as coaches, I believe we need to see our kids in the classroom and not just after school at practices and so on and so forth. So really big advocate for education, and I'm a really big advocate for students and athletes knowing what they are interested in doing outside of sports, outside of school, passions, anything like that, really. So that's me. That's my story.
Wow. So hold on. There were so many things that I just wanted to ask and stop you, but I said, no, let's keep going. But
yes, ma'am.
Did you go into college with a lot of hours already?
So my high school is called Spring Early College Academy in Houston, Texas. So when I graduated in high school with my high school diploma, I also graduated with my associate's degree.
That is important information to share because I'm not sure that enough of our teachers and our coaches, if you're not a part of an early college or a P-TECH school, then you don't really understand how that impacts a student's trajectory as they're entering college. Because you went in with the associates, that means that all junior college, community college is out the door. You're going straight to a 4-year institution, and
correct.
The opportunities are limitless at that point. So that's a good point. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Can you talk a little bit about some of the mentors, some of the people, adults maybe in your life that have helped shape who you are right now as a coach and who you'd like to become as a coach?
Of course. Well, my mom, for sure. I grew up in a single parent household. So my mom played mom and dad and uncle and aunt, grandma, grandpa. She played everything. She is she is for sure my number one fan. No matter what, she always supports me, even when I was being a knucklehead, even when I was being bad. Like, she was always there, always in my corner. So just having that support and having someone that believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself, for sure shaped me into the coach of saying, well, I see someone doesn't have this skill mastered yet. Well, I'm still going to believe in you because I had someone that still believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. For sure, past coaches, I had a coach my Little League years. His name was Robert Leal. He lived about 2 hours away from me, but he saw so much in me that he would drive 2 hours to come pick me up for practice, have practice, and then drive me 2 hours back home. And then same thing with games as well. So having someone that just puts so much effort into wanting me to grow is like, I can't even put it into words, but like right now, I coach middle school girls basketball. So I tell them like, hey, if we do this, then there's no reason for me to like celebrate with y'all, and like we'll go out and do something like on my dollar.
Mhm.
So just everyone, like professors as well, like they all believed in me. They saw how much I was passionate about not just coaching but teaching as well, like wanting to teach the next generation what I was taught or things that I wasn't taught that I had to learn on my own. So really everybody played like a small part into the bigger picture that who I am today. And then I want to give that bigger picture and contribute small parts to some other student or some other athlete. And then hopefully that just creates a trend, creates a next generation that's even more amazing than mine and next.
Absolutely. Now, with that, because you had a unique experience, right? You are number one, you're young in a
Mhm.
profession that sometimes does not that discredits youth. And I say
Correct.
youth in just the sense of the age, right? You've
Mhm.
gotten into this profession and you've got some seasoned coaches that may, put some obstacles in your way. Can you
Mhm.
can you talk about maybe some of the obstacles if you faced any thus far in your career?
Of course. So my second and third year at Texas State, I was a student coach for the Texas State football team, and I was for sure the youngest coach on that football team. So mainly everything I kind of did was like intern duty. So after every game, we had down and distance formations. So while every coach got to go with their families and got to congregate outside, like I was still in the football stadium till 2 a.m. sometimes, putting in all the data from the game. So that way, when we came in the morning, all we had to do was just go over the game. So I guess kind of try to being treated like less than, even
Mhm.
though I'm more than capable of doing some of the job duties that they could do. And they started to see that like my last year there, they started to see how much I could contribute. And even at the school that I'm teaching now at, I'm a assistant coach for the football team. And the football coaches have been coaching high school football for 20, 30 years compared to my only 21 years of life. So not all the time they see eye to eye with me, but whenever I say like, hey, like we're doing this now, or teams are starting to do this, they start to look at it as a like a different standpoint, different point of view, because they're so used to doing everything the old fashioned way. And I guess like a new set of eyes, a young set of eyes, and then someone that relates to the players better than they can. They can see how much I contribute. So it's not a lot of obstacles. It always starts as obstacles because they try to discredit you because you're young.
Mhm.
But once they see what you can contribute and what you can add to the team and to the staff, then it all just becomes opportunities.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Now, what about your trajectory? What is it? What's next? Where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10 years?
Well, I'm actually in grad school right now. So I'm in grad school. I'm getting my master's of science in sports administration from Arkansas State. So if everything goes well, I will graduate next May.
Mhm.
So next 5 years, the goal will become an athletic director. Like that is priority number one. That's what I want to do in the next 5 years. The biggest goal has always been either pro or a college coach. Like that's something I've always wanted to do. But I kind of been thinking on it for a while, and I made a decision. I want to be more of a like a change in an athlete's life. Like I don't want to be, oh, just a coach that coaches on Saturdays and Sundays and gets recognition for leading a game-winning drive or leading like the game-winning field goal. Like I want to be someone that's remembered. Well, this person helped this athlete after retirement when he thought football was all he had. No, he liked to garden. No, he wanted to be a book writer. No, he wanted to be a data software engineer, something like that. I want to be someone that leads athletes to other passions that they have. So I strongly feel like an athletic director would probably be more the way to go towards that. And the coach can obviously do that too. But I kind of want to take a step back from coaching once it gets to a good point, and I want to be more of a help and more of an aid than someone that's just in the sport.
And I completely understand that. So are you, once you get your master's, are you looking to be in the charter space, private school or public school setting? Is it, what are you?
Honestly, I'll be open to anything. Right now, I'm in the private school sector right now, just because I've been volunteer coaching there for
Mhm.
3 years already,
Mhm.
and they offered me the job, so I said, why not? But honestly, I don't have a preference. I would be fine with either or, public or private.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, what type of advice or encouragement would you give to aspiring coaches, aspiring teachers, people that want to enter this profession, both young men and young women, especially young men of color? What would you tell them?
Advice I would give, I say I live by this quote. I learned this quote from a great coach. It's a 3-second reset. So you lose the game, you make a bad play, you make a bad call. You got 3 seconds to be hard on yourself. And then once those 3 seconds are up, like, you just gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep moving. So yeah, sometimes like I got looked over for so many jobs, so many coaching opportunities, but it's like you just got to keep pushing, like you keep dwelling on it, it's not going to change anything. You just sit and soak on it, not going to change anything. But if you learn from that experience, like if you just keep adding to your resume, you keep adding tools in your toolbox, then there's going to be no doubt that you're going to be the most qualified person for a job. And then that employer will see that. So, uh, 3-second reset for sure is one of my greatest advice. Volunteering for sure is something that I learned that works so well. My first year at Texas State, my first year in college, I volunteered as a middle school football coach. And now I'm a paid middle school girls basketball coach, a paid offensive coordinator for the high school football team. Like, it all pays off. It for sure all pays off. So I like to look at things. My mom taught me this. She liked to look at things proactively. So
Mhm.
look at things now and then look how you envision them later on in the future. And it will come to fruit. It will come to pass. So that's for sure another piece of advice that I have. And then for us men of color, just be cautious about the situation that you put yourself in. Uh, Always represent with a good name and just bring pride to our people. That's all I can say. As long as you live by those 3 rules, then you'll be just fine.
Awesome. Those are excellent pieces of advice. Now, one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you currently reading right now? Aside from your schoolwork for your
Mhm.
master's program, what are you reading for fun?
For fun right now, I'm reading a biography about Tony Dungy. He's talking about his years from when he played high school football in, I believe it was Minnesota. No, it was Detroit. Up until his championship years with the Colts. So he talks about God a lot, and I kind of been wanting to rekindle my Christian faith. I'm a Christian for sure, but I kind of like lost touch a little bit.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get back into that, and I thought, what way then to merge it with football, Christianity. And it's a really interesting read, really interesting. I'm learning a lot. I kind of got into my Bible again a little bit, so I kind of have this thing where this year I want to at least read one book each month. So that was the first book in January. It was a really good read. I believe it's called Unspoken Truth or
Mhm.
something like that. But
Yes.
a really good book. So that one, and then I'm reading. I can't remember who I'm reading next, but also another football Christian book. Yeah.
Good. Good. Well, Coach Elliott, thank you so much for sharing your story. You've got a lot in 21 years.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All already, and there's so much more ahead of you, and you're so early in your career. But thank you for sharing the information that you did, because not only is it an inspiration for the young people, the people that you're coaching, but it's also an inspiration and a breath of fresh air for seasoned coaches, for us to remember that there is someone that is green and growing, and we need to continue pouring into them. And you are that person that we need to continue pouring into.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So thank you for being here.